Hi everybody. First of all, I want to say thank you to my subscribers that are on YouTube. I'm actually pulling it up so I can see how many, because I recently got like a random influx of humans, which is awesome, and I'm really thankful for all of you, all 76 of you. I'm so close to 80. I have been doing this since I don't know, since February was whenever I started with planning videos. And recently, within the last few months, I started like March. I think it was March. I started with writing videos, with Authortube stuff. That's whenever I got into Authortube and everything like that. And I really just I'm thankful for every single one of you. It's nice that even if you're subscribed but don't watch all the time, things like that, it's still really nice to have you guys here, and I just wanted to let you know. I will also probably be saying something in my planner video at some point too. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about today, because I had said that I would make a video for this, is Natalia Leigh's 2019 Preptober Workbook. This thing is awesome. I actually finally, I printed it out. I got to look in it. I have it in a binder, but I printed the whole, like whenever I did the hole punch thing, I did it too low. So yeah, it has so much stuff in here. And I don't want to show you the pages because I totally feel like this is her thing. And the plus side, the amazing plus side with this is that it's up for, like, there is no set dollar value to it. I won't even tell you what I paid, but I can tell you what I paid was well worth it. And yeah, it's basically donation only. So it's 49 pages of everything that you need if you wanted to prep for any book. And even though it says it's for Preptober, which is October, it can be used at any time. There are a couple of pages where it specifically has a November calendar, but you can also reprint off one of the blank pages or make your own calendar. It's just, there's so much stuff in here that's awesome, and I absolutely love it. So she has the usual, thank you for buying it. Writing a book is really hard. It has, one of the things on here that I love is she has doodles. And there are 50 autumn doodles, which, like every 1,000 words, if you're doing a novel, which is normally 50,000 words, there are doodles on here. And you can color in one every 10 or every 1,000 words. That's awesome. That really, and you can do it like from bottom to top or top to bottom or just randomly all around. That's awesome. She also has a word count calendar. So if you're doing, let's say 50,000 words in 30 days, because we have a couple of other ones that are just, with the exception of February, every month has 30 days. So it can be for like any time of the month or any time of the year. This doesn't have to be for November. It doesn't have to be for October, but it's really cool too. She has a word sprint tracker, which is really good for those of us who do word sprints, who want to know maybe what time of the day it was, the duration and how many words that you had, and things like that. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. A calendar for November. She just printed out a calendar for November. So for those of us who are using this month in October, you can write down everybody's live streams, which is awesome. I actually write it in my, let me find it, if I can find it. Where did it go? Seriously, where did it go? Ruh-roh. I'll find it in a second. Ah! I really need to clean off my desk. Let's not talk about how really that needs to happen, but really I need to clean off my desk. So I bought, and I think I had said this before, or maybe whenever I was recording this the first time, I really didn't do it justice, so I wanted to record it again. But I have, let's not get the camera glare in there or anything else. Holy crap. This thing. This is a monthly layout, a monthly happy planner mini. So it has, you know, like the month in there, and because it's a monthly, it doesn't have days. It has those. And it has 31 of them, which is awesome. The dog was doing the weird thing. But it also has this. I like this because there are 3 trackers on here for like checking out, like habit trackers. And I can make my own little tracker right here, or even for the days, I can write down sprints, which is what I was doing in July. It just, so helpful. So helpful. But for those of you who, you know, this might, damn it. That's what I get for having too much in here. For those of you that are just starting out with Preptober, like this is my first Preptober, but this won't be my first NaNoWriMo. So, this isn't my first NaNoWriMo, so I know kind of what I'm getting myself into. But because I'm outlining to actually win NaNoWriMo, I believe that even though I am a self-proclaimed pantser, I said that the first time whenever I was doing an intro, and now I am a plantser because really plotting in July? Yeah, plotting in July really helped me out. I don't know if I just had a shiny hair or if it was like a random, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, it has a live streaming calendar on here. It has a goal setting page where you can do 6 goals, which is awesome. And it doesn't have to be, for me at least, it can be book oriented, but it can be so much more than just writing. It could be, like projects you'd like to get done if you want to start up a website or your newsletter, or you want to do cover design or formatting, stuff like that. Yeah. Developing a writing routine so that you know your writing routine, and then there's a blank, like there are no numbers on it, blank calendar page to set up your writing schedule. I'm going to have to edit out a ton of yawns. I am so tired. Anyway, has basics of a good book, which is basically what do you need to do in order to sit down and write? What things do you like your book to be about? Stuff like that. And she has her own as an example. A brainstorming page, some other really awesome writing, like prepping, plotting, and outlining pages. She's got main character stuff, as well as character profiles, which are awesome for me because I'm gonna have a crap ton of characters in here. A completely blank page for if you want to draw a map, or if you, like me, need to draw clothes, like dresses specifically, stuff like that. And setting pages, like as well as character pages, there are setting pages. It's just so much. She also has a thing on point of view and tense, which is like past tense, present tense, not like tense. Anyway, on where, like, for those of you who have a hard time going from first person to third person or from past to present, this is a good example of how you would like to write. So if you want to write like she or I went or am going, things like that. It's a whole lot of, there's a lot of stuff in here. She also has a detailed story structure, which a lot of people need reminding of. And that's not because the books or the writing is bad. It's because you're starting out really writing instead of just playwriting, which, I mean, it's no offense to anybody, but there are some people who don't know how a story really works or where to put stuff in the story. So they'll, world build the crap out of the first 5 chapters, and a lot of people don't really want to read that unless you're doing like science fiction or something like that, and the person needs it as part of their plot, as part of their journey, things like that. But science fiction is the only real time that I've seen, or fantasy is another one, because they kind of run hand in hand for me anyway. There's other outlining methods. So a lot of authors and writers that I've seen are Save the Cat writes a novel, and I haven't read it yet. I feel personally like I'm pretty good with writing stories because I've been doing it since I could actually write. I've been writing since I could write. But yeah, there are a whole bunch of things, and even at the end of this, she helps you with... Oh, that's the air conditioner. I was like, wow, it's really windy. No, AC. Anyway, she helps you think of things that you could have for your back title or your back cover thing, and what a working title is, potential titles, and basically a nice long page of, I wrote the thing, I edited the thing, what do I do with it? Well, you don't just, put it up and put it away so it gathers dust, because that's crazy. I think that everybody should have at least one story out in the world, right? Whether it's good or bad, whether you're just playing around or whatever, stories need to be out there, because they just need to. So she has a lot of stuff. I'm trying to see where I'm at for time. I'm at 13 minutes. I'm trying to find where... There it is. No, it's not. Damn it. Yeah. I will find it in a second. There we go. Okay. So I already know pretty much my writing schedule for NaNoWriMo. I know my editing schedule and my plotting schedule for right now. It's just not happening. So normally what I do is I take, let me get a clean one so that you guys can see it. I do Happy Planner stuff, if you've noticed. So I use one of these. It's a classic size, their classic size thing, and it has like the times. If it could focus, that would be, there we go. It has, this timesheet is mostly what I use so that I can write down basically when I get out of bed, my morning routine, when I drop Ember off, when I pick her up, what my weekend should look like. It's basically a schedule that I'm writing down for myself. If you don't know if you don't have a writing routine, or you would like to get one, she has some questions that are really good for figuring out a writing technique, or a writing routine rather, sorry. Basically, how many days a week do you want to write? Well, all of us, realistically, would like to write every day at some point, even if you're just making notes, even if you're thinking about the next scene, the next chapter, the next big thing that you want to happen, the next plot point. Yeah. So really, while I would like to strive for 7, at least a little bit every day, I really want to make sure that I write 5 days a week really hard while my daughter is in school and I have the time to. Are you a morning or a night writer? I am an exhausted pigeon. And because I'm an exhausted pigeon, I don't write in the morning. I might think about stuff in the morning, but I'm normally just waking up or going back to sleep, to be honest with you. So I mostly write in the afternoon while my daughter's at school from 8 o'clock until 2:30 or 2 o'clock, whenever I just stop writing and pick her up. And I have some ways I don't write exactly from 8 to 2 because that's just, no. My brain hamster doesn't have enough power to cross a puddle, yet alone do that for that many hours. 6 hours? Yeah. No. Is it really 6? 8? 12, 1, 2. Yeah, it's 6 hours, and I don't have enough time for that. What time do you wake up, and what time do you go to bed? I go to bed I wake up way too early, and I go to bed way too late. So I usually, during the weekdays, I wake up at 6:20. I get my butt out of bed about 6:30, and then that's whenever the morning routine starts. By 6:50, I am making breakfast for Ember, and then I am waking her up. At 7 o'clock, we come out. She gets dressed. By 7:30, we're out the door. And usually I'll go around and play Pokemon, and then by 8 o'clock, I'm back in here. And I usually go to bed anywhere from, well, my alarm on my watch goes off at 10 o'clock, so I usually go to bed anywhere between like midnight and 1. I need to go to bed at 10. I don't do it. I need to, though. How many days a week are you busy with work and other I have a daughter, so I am busy 7 days a week. But that is basically between the hours of 3 and, I'm going to say 8 is whenever she goes to bed, because normally she will, come in here and she'll doodle around. So, yeah, between the hours of 3 and 8, it doesn't happen. I don't really, it's very hard to devote time, especially whenever you're doing a writing sprint, which I'll get to in a minute. It's very hard to do a writing sprint and have anybody in here at any time. What are your work hours or times that you are busy or unable to write? From 3 to 8. That's how it is. How much free time do you have? Between the hours of 8 and 2. So that's 6 hours. I have 6 hours that are open that I usually do chores. I need to think about what we're going to have for dinner. I also think that I'm getting some sort of climate change crap like everybody else is. But yeah, I have a lot of free time, but, do I really want to use it to write? So we will talk about sprinting, like word sprints, in a second. How many hours of the day are you usually free? Or what hours of the day are you usually free? Yeah. I'm technically, Ember's very independent, and I could leave her alone to do her own thing, to, whatever, but I'd like to also spend time one-on-one with her, so between the hours of really 3 to 5:30 are me and her time before I go and make dinner. So we usually will sit and watch a movie together, stuff like that. Of those free hours, which of those free hours can you dictate to writing? This is where word sprints come in. I can usually do, if I'm doing a live word sprint with other people, I can usually get in 2 to 4 hours, because most of the time they run in 2-hour increments. So if I can get in 2 hours a day of actual writing, which isn't like a solid 2 hours, normally with word sprints it's 15 minutes and then a 5-minute break, and then 15 minutes, 5-minute break and 15 minutes, and then 5-minute break, and then you take a longer break just to take a break, which is usually 10 minutes, maybe 15-minute break, and then you go right back into that 15 and 5. And I really enjoy that, because that's about as much as my brain can take. Also, I noticed that in those 3 15-minute sprints, so 20, 40, 60, yeah, in that middle section, I do really well. That's whenever I get most of my writing done, because I'm sort of like ramping up in the first one, and the middle one I kind of hit like a higher plateau, and then at the bottom, at the last 15, if I'm even doing anything, that's fantastic. So I can do about 4 hours of actual sprinting and be okay. It also definitely helps to know what you're writing. So it will be one of those things whenever I do another video will be how to get the most out of, wow, that was almost Canadian a little bit. I'm so sorry. How to get the most out of writing sprints. So we'll talk about that, everything else. And I love this last question. Now, realistically, how often can you set aside time to write? It's like she knows me. So out of the 6 hours that I have, I can really dedicate 2 to 4 hours of sprinting with other people. I can probably get 1 hour out if I'm doing it alone. So at least that's still something. For NaNoWriMo, they want you to do at least 1,667 words a day. My hair is doing some awkward stuff. If that part could just stay laid down instead of doing the weird ear thing, that would be great. Anyway, yeah, if I could do like maybe one on my own and then another one that's later in the night with other people, because I also give time between whenever we're done with dinner and whenever Ember goes to bed. That's normally the time that I like to come and hide in here so that Nate and Ember can have some time. So yeah. Basically, after you figure out all of these questions, then you flip the page and there's a calendar that's right there. And you write down, put in the number days or whatever. And then you write down when you can realistically work on your novel. And it's really cool that it's blank, so it's not just for words, it could be for editing too, like what I'm doing. I'm editing the first one right now. And yeah. But please remember, whenever you're doing this, to fill in the times whenever you're working or times whenever you have appointments, things like that. Fill that in first so that you know when it's not going to work. Because if you think that you have all day to do it and then in the middle of it you have an appointment and you forget, because I know that sometimes appointments are very, very important. So what I do, and I will turn this around so that you can see. I'm going to close this and turn the camera around so that you can see kind of what I did, what I outlined. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so this is what, hold on, sorry, it's moving and I don't mean to do that to people. So this is basically what I did. It has, you can make something like this on your own on a blank piece of paper or lined paper. Basically a schedule of your day. And I know that with some people with work, if you don't have a set schedule, say that you have 4 to 8 hours that, you work between now and now or whatever, there's a chunk of time in there whenever you can't work. This definitely makes sure, this ensures that, you know when you're doing stuff. Now, I could have easily color coded it, just put in like highlighter or colored pencil and highlighted times whenever I can't write versus when I can write, or maybe whenever I can just think about my next scene, stuff like that. So my goal is to do 1 hour sprint where it's 15 minutes on and 5 minutes off. So that is 3 15-minute sprints, which is awesome. And then I had wrote in here, let me see if I have anything on the back of this. Oh, okay. So I had wrote on here that maybe try to front load, which means to, instead of the 1,667, maybe put it, like bump up the word count to like 3,000 or 4,000 at the beginning of the first couple of weeks so that I know that I can get it all done. The reason why I said this is because the gray days are whenever Ember has off on the 8th, that whole week, which is smudged. But this whole week, and then this is a half day, she's home. So I don't think that I'm going to get anything of substantiality. New word. I don't think I'm really going to get anything done the last week. And I realized that most people start to taper off and burn out about the middle of it. And I noticed that too with Camp NaNoWriMo. People just, like, the 10th day, I know that for a lot of people, it's like the 10th or the 14th day, they just, blah. So, this is what I have planned. I don't really have a number thing going on, like, making the number days and then doing, like, 3,000, 2,000, 4,000, stuff like that. I don't have anything like that because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Since today is the 10th, I'm still sort of in outline mode. So I have a couple, well, right now I'm in plotting mode, and then I would like to get into outline mode so I can figure out a little bit more what I'm going to write when. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this is kind of what I have. These are the times whenever I can write. These are the times when I can't write. Yeah, like this is during the weekday. This is on the weekend, and the weekends are going to be a little bit more relaxed depending on when my husband works. Realistically, to be wholly honest with you, I'd like to get up around 10 on the weekends, because that's normally when my internal alarm says to get up. This is why I have such a hard time getting up at 6:30, because I don't function well. I function well, but it's on autopilot, basically. So yeah, this is it. If you want to make something like this for yourself, it's really easy to do. Even if you're just going to do like a timesheet, it's a great way to figure out when you can and when you can't write. And you can even do it like this, where I have a line here. If you do it on a notebook page, you can write the times, and you can break them down even farther than half hour. But you can do the time, and then you can do it for every day of the week if you have a weekly schedule where things are varied. Yeah, it's just, you can do so much. And I really want the best for you for prepping and for November. And I think that keeping a times table like this is one of the best ways to do it. So, like I said, I kind of had help with this with Natalia Leigh's Preptober Workbook. If you want to get it, I will leave a link below. You can also choose to get it wire-bound at your nearest office store. I did the three-ring binder thing just because I had one of these floating around. So yeah, I will leave a link to her stuff down below and a link to her channel. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this. I would like for you to utilize this if you think that, it's going to work for you. And like I said, it's by donation only, so if you, put down what you think that it's worth. It's really, there are a lot of pages in here. There's 49, and I think that they're all very helpful. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions on this, and I can answer them, then I will make sure to answer them. If not, then I will find a way to ask Natalia, and hopefully she can answer them for you.